Hello and welcome to the Illuminating Crossroads community. My name is Lisette, and today we're going to be doing an intuitive reading for fire signs. So this will be for you if you are a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries rising, and you can also just listen to this message if you've been feeling in tune with the fire elemental. So we're going to get started with the Moonology Oracle deck. So feel free to grab a notebook or a journal if you want to jot anything down as we move through this reading to really support you with setting your new moon rituals or intentions, if you will. So first we're going to see what energy of renewal is the new moon bringing in for you. All right, so let's see. Okay. All right, so first we have surrender to the divine full moon. We have a fiery climax approaches full moon in Aries, and then communication is key, new moon in Gemini. So oh, I'm so sorry, the light came out and the video's kind of blown out. It'll go away. It's cloudy and the sun comes out, then it goes away, then it comes back. So please bear with me. But I think that's very fitting for this. So, because we have a lot of full moon energy here, so the light is being emitted and being shined, but we are working with this new moon essence, and then we have new moon in Gemini here. So this to me is stating that within this energy of renewal for the new moon, there is first off a key emphasis on relation towards others and how are you expressing and communicating yourself. So really thinking of how have your relationships transformed over the past 6 months, if we just want to kind of look at a smaller cyclical season. And what does it mean to I'm kind of hearing faith and interesting, I guess surrender, kind of for some reason Pisces is coming through. So I do want to note that this new moon is creating a trine with Saturn and Pisces. So we're collectively just being called to find more faith and trust in the structures that we're feeling called to build for ourselves. So really listening to where you're feeling called to take action, especially with Aries. Aries is that cardinal fire sign for your sister signs if you're Leo or Sag. So how can you tap into this cardinal fire energy to get things initiated and to start whatever it is that you're desiring to put more intention towards for this upcoming cycle. So we're gonna see if we can get some messages for additional energies of renewal from the Astrology Oracle deck. Okay, so here we have Jupiter, and Jupiter is presently retrograde in Gemini. So this could be kind of showing at the time of this new moon, thinking of how have you allowed yourself to find deeper integration of maybe some of the parts that you don't express, so you can invite yourself to grow and expand within that area that's actually desiring expression. So what does it mean to be more mutable? So to tap into Sagittarius energy, that mutable fire, and find surrender, fluidity, and welcome change. And it's honestly making me feel like this is change that the divine is really like handing to you and putting within your awareness or your auric field. And all you have to do is invite yourself to receive it with ease, and then to move with the inspiration that's coming organically. So not really forcing anything at this time. And really also being mindful of your how do I want to say, your internal heat. So noticing if it is it dwindled? Is it not present? Is your flame nice and sustained? Or are you like a wildfire right now and things are just kind of out of control? How can you find adaptability, and really thinking of perception as well, of how you're receiving situations or things that are happening around you, and actually allowing for your point of view to come from a place that is of truth and more knowingness of like what is truly present. Are you reacting to things in a way that is from this place that you have grown into, that you've expanded into, or is it from this place that is still rooted within past let's say past perceptions that aren't really serving? It's kind of making me think of, we have different like coping mechanisms to, or even just survival tactics to be able to move through certain things that unfortunately we have to experience sometimes in life, or not have to, but we end up experiencing in life. And just knowing like, are you still moving from a place that is really connected to these triggers or all these old pain points which you've dedicated time towards healing? So now knowing like what is it now, like how do you approach situations now within this point of renewal? So really alchemizing the awareness of how you are interacting within situations and with others. So let's see if we can get one more card from the astrology oracle deck. And this is also making me think, like springtime next year could be really important for you. I'm also feeling an essence of like research, or like I'm seeing like a magnifying glass, so like looking at the finer details of things, which I do think we are going to be moving into Mercury retrograde at the beginning of November, if I'm not mistaken. So this Mercury retrograde this next one that we're having could really be insightful towards how you may need to pivot a bit more or adapt a bit more within your life. Okay, and then of course, and then we have fire here. So confidence, optimism, passion, and bravery. So really allowing this, like I'm feeling like confidence towards your intuitive hits. So, or intuitive insight. So how can you honor where you're being called to go? And also optimism, very much Jupiterian. So how can you invite a higher perspective with where it is that you're moving towards? So not overemphasizing things that haven't been working, because you're working on renewal right now at the time of this new moon in Scorpio. So really thinking of, okay, what has worked and what do you want to continue to cultivate within your life, type deal. All right. And then allowing yourself to really continue to have courage and be brave and to be honest to yourself and honest towards others for what you're desiring, what you're wanting, and honestly, like what you're needing at this time as well. So really clearly communicating that. All right, and then we're gonna see what old habits and patterns are you ready to transform. So we're gonna use the archetype oracle deck for this. So let's see. I'm also like feeling like a spotlight. So if you have the opportunity to be in the spotlight, or if somebody's asking you for your opinion on something, how can you express yourself authentically? Okay, and then we'll do this one. All right, so we have here King, light attributes, enlightened, benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge. Shadow attributes, excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. And then we have here Father, light attributes, talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. And then shadow attributes, dictatorial control, abuse of authority. And we also have here child, orphan, light attributes, independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fears, surviving. Shadow attributes, feeling an abandonment that stifle maturation, and seeking inappropriate surrogate families. Okay, so with these energies that came out, also just thinking like very masculine-esque, which you as fire sign predominance, or maybe if you've just been tapping into the fire energy, it is very yang in its essence. And Aries energy, since specifically this card coming out, and the king is very much like being a pioneer and thinking of leading, like, or even that spotlight of which I was kind of seeing, like, and thinking of Leo. There, when, how do I want to say it, when you are in a place of like others care to listen to you, and want to listen to you, especially if others are coming to you and asking questions, just because Jupiter can be the essence of like the teacher or what have you. But this is saying to me that with your old habits and patterns, it's about transforming how you not only lead yourself, but lead within your community and lead with others. So how can you invite yourself to be more of that pioneering spirit, to allow for more change, and change that invites innovation as well. And then also knowing that if someone isn't agreeing with you, so if there's an old habit or pattern towards like finding frustration because it feels like other people aren't listening to you or they're not agreeing with you, then how can you invite yourself to surrender to the divine, to trust just a little bit more, even though I know sometimes it can be hard when we feel like we are in this orphan archetype where we're abandoned, and it can feel like there's this lack of connection and then in turn it stifles our maturity. So how can you invite a deeper connection towards this father archetype? So then you're creating a support for you. So I almost feel like at this time, if you are doing any shadow work, working with either healing father wounds within your life, healing any wounds with a feeling of abandonment or isolation, or even healing how do I want to say, like, maybe distorted experiences within leadership, and also allowing with that healing for renewal to come or illumination to appear within how you can alchemize those old wounds, so then they're not creating so much distortion still with how you're meeting your relationship with others and community and just movement within your life. All right, so next we're going to see if there's any supportive animal spirit messages for you. And if you are feeling an essence of like wanting to control, really taking some time to dive into that feeling of asking, like, or if you feel like others are controlling you, how can you invite healthier boundaries? So really honoring boundaries and making sure that they're healthy boundaries and communicating those boundaries. Okay. Alright, so we had 2 cards come out. We have 7B, Spirit, sweet results await, and then 3. Armadillo Spirit, set healthy boundaries, which we were just speaking about. So, with all of this that we have been speaking about, there is this, like, I'm thinking of like the honey from the honeybee, the sweetness. So in finding more softness and more renewal within, like, just thinking of like the fire and the purification, the burning, or what have you in that regard, and really also like purifying the heart, because that just stood out to me. So thinking of like how can you continue to move within more of a heart-centered space, and then invite deeper self-realization, so then you can understand how you operate and honor who you are in your own truth, but then creating spaciousness for another to be. But because you have healthy boundaries, you can coexist in a way that allows for more harmony, and you can move through conflicts with ease because you're communicating what you're feeling, what you're needing to express in a way that is coming from this heart-centered place. And that is a level of maturity as well. Okay. And then we're going to see, we're going to pull out a couple of crystal oracle cards. So we'll just see if there's any supportive crystals that you can work with during this time for this new moon in Scorpio. All right. We'll just get one more. Oh, okay. All right. So awesome. So we have here malachite. We'll put here malachite, and then we have tiger's eye. So here is healing and courage. So if you have these crystals that might be supportive to work with these during this new moon. But know if you don't have these crystals, it's more than okay. You can actually call on these crystal devas and just ask for their support, or you can work with things that match these colors. So malachite for healing, and it really is working with your heart and really transforming like deeply rooted things within the heart space that are still causing restriction. So especially if you have resentment, or if there's jealousy, anger, even if there is like a level of grief right now, it would be supportive to, you can also just work with any crystals that are for your heart center too, as a guide. And then we have tiger's eye, courage. So really working with that solar plexus energy, so that inner fire already, as you are a fire sign. So really nourishing that inner flame and being sure to actually allow yourself to fully like digest situations, things that you're going through, and to purify and cleanse. So really feel like having a cleansing practice during the time around this new moon will be really supportive to you, whatever that may be for you. Or even if you just sit down and like light a candle, create some sacred space, and allow yourself to really feel into this spaciousness of the new moon for the unlimited possibilities of which can take place, and to invite yourself to take a new perspective, to have a bit more optimism. Okay, and then lastly, we're going to pull from the Magical Herb Oracle deck. And just see if there's any supportive closing messages, as well as any herbs that you could work with at this time. And then, of course, you can work with the honeybee spirit and the armadillo spirit as animal guides, if that's supportive. It might be supportive if you're feeling lacking in confidence and courage or bravery, maybe wearing yellow, or even just sitting out in the sun for a little bit intentionally would be supportive. All right, so first we have here creativity, ginger. Ginger is great for your solar plexus and your digestive system. So maybe drinking ginger tea at this time. And also just, I'm thinking of like what I describe it as like the spice that comes from ginger. And just thinking also how like ginger cleanses the palate, like if like when you're eating sushi and then you have the ginger to like reset. So it's almost like, how can you cleanse, like allow your palate to be cleansed, but like physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, so that you can really invite full transformation of the gifts of all that you've been moving through, like all the lessons and the wisdom, and opening more deeply towards your inner spark of divinity. All right, and let's see if we could just get one last card here. All right, so here we have repair and come free. So this is like definitely with all of these messages that came through, just really having a lot of grace for yourself and spaciousness. So as you're working towards like, I almost want to say too, like shifting like beliefs and how like others will respond to you, of like not setting an expectation of like how things could happen based on what has happened in the past, and just allowing for like a blank canvas. So repairing those internal dialogues to actually be more supportive to you, so that you can find more enjoyment, to connect with your inner fire, to be creative, to be confident, to express in a way that feels good to you, to have those healthy boundaries, and to also have a healthy embodiment of the father and the king archetype as well. So, and to invite an awareness of the gift of independence and what alone time can gift you, so that you can kind of conquer any fears of surviving if that is something that's arising for you. All right, so that is everything that I'm seeing for this reading. So if you stayed until the end, thank you so much. If you want to leave a comment down below, let me know what you're experiencing or feeling within this new moon Scorpio energy. And if any of these messages resonated, if you were kind of already feeling some of this, I would love to hear it. But yeah, and then if you like the video, if you want to give it a thumbs up, I would appreciate it. And if you want to join the Illuminating Crossroads community, feel free to subscribe. We would love to have you. And I'll just go ahead and seal this reading with divine love, light, and wisdom. We are complete. And then of course, if you ever would like some support on your healing journey, I would love to be a supportive guide for you. I offer readings like this, astrology readings, and Reiki and sound healing sessions. So all that information is down below, and I am sending you so much love and many blessings until next time. Thank you so much.